Gentastic823. In your opinion, to what extent did LRH believe his own con? Did he start a religion for the sole purpose of getting rich and wielding undue power over the minds of others? Over time, do you think that being constantly surrounded by people who essentially deified him, he fell under his own spell? I get the sense that the struggle in his mind between awareness of the true nature of Scientology and his desire to believe in his own greatness may have been the primary catalyst in his going completely insane in his later years. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts. It seems pretty clear that David Miscavige is fully aware that he is selling a lie and does not regard Scientology's texts, practices, or beliefs as sacred. Yet in his youth, he was said to have been so devoted a believer that he became protege of LRH. Do you suppose his personal experiences and interactions with the man behind the curtain were the cause of his loss of faith in Scientology and his somewhat covert hostility toward its followers? Please keep up the amazing work. Thanks, stuck in an electronic incident with Thetanists. Well, okay, so, this question comes up all the time. Did Hubbard believe his own BS, and does Miscavige believe it, and, or do they know it's all a con and they're just hoodwinking everybody? Here's kind of a summary answer on this thing. Scientology makes people crazy. So, I don't know if Hubbard was or wasn't crazy when he first started Scientology. It's a totally subjective question, and there's no way for me to know. What I think is that I think he started a con. I think he knew he was starting a con, but I think that he was a pretty sick guy, and he thought that he might also find the answer to his own, mental and spiritual and physical problems, and then, the answers that he was going to find were going to be the answers for everybody. And, he kind of was narcissistic that way. And then over the years, I think he just went nuts. And I think he passed a point of no return in the mid-60s. And I think that, he went downhill from there into incredible paranoid delusions and all the rest. So Miscavige was basically raised in Scientology, and I think he was a pretty troubled kid. I think he had some real serious problems, and I do believe he is a sociopath, as in textbook sociopath, and I think that's something a person can be born with or born into. And he followed Hubbard's example, and he was around Hubbard, directly under Hubbard, getting Hubbard's directions for years. So I think he became a little Hubbard, and then added his own sick twists to the whole thing. And he didn't develop Scientology. He didn't develop any part of Scientology, and I don't think he believes in it. And the reason I think that is because there's no evidence to convince me that he does. Doesn't go in session, doesn't do the tech, and I think he knows that it's something that doesn't work, doesn't produce results, and he's just using it to satisfy his megalomania. So that's what I think of those two guys.